This is going to be my final response to user Owheydusoapsk. Link to his video response to me is down in the underbar, and I recommend people who want to check it out, check it out. As to the charge that the person actually was trying to create a tryst, he was, but he was talking about the conflict and not necessarily 100% sure that he was going to go through with that. But you know what? I'm willing to own up to that. I'm having to deal with condensing that entire article in my brain down to something that I could present in a less than 15-minute video. But I was also going on the later points of the article, where John himself talks about the fact that some of why he even got into this community was because he was an outsider, because he was an outcast on many levels, that he had a harder time connecting with some people. Am I saying that him connecting with people who are unapologetic about being collectors of child pornography that they trade around? No, obviously not. There's no way that I could make a moral case for that. But at the same time, when you look at his confliction as well as the fact of the duress that they are putting him under so that he can get treatment for a problem he may or may not actually have, so that maybe he can be paroled. And yeah. There's a Louis Theroux documentary, although considering what you said towards the end of your video, and I'll give you props for conceding to what I was starting to think was going on your side there. But there is a Louis Theroux documentary called A Place for Pedophiles, which deals with one or two individuals who don't want to confess to things that aren't them. Now, in one case, I do believe, looking at the gentleman and knowing what I know of psychology, since I've studied a semester or two myself, as well as I've done a lot of independent research. One of them is that type of person who is absolutely, what do you call it? Is one of those people who is the 5% that I talked about, and is somebody who deserves to be in a program like that. The other person who gets mad in the documentary, though, he strikes me as a bit of a John. But I reserve the right to be wrong on that one with that particular documentary there. Okay, so you say that my videos need to be more focused. I explained to you the issues with things here, because I'm trying to condense 6 months worth of facts and figures in my head into some sort of workable, manageable construct of something. And I'm doing it on the fly. Does that make him a bit unfocused? I guess I could say sure. Why not? That's not really a knock against my position, maybe a knock against the presenter, and hey, I'm a big enough man to be able to take that, because that very thing has been levied against me before, and because of how I talk. I talk a lot. I may say a lot of extra extraneous things that could have been put more simply. It's just how I'm wired. Just like how some of the people in this topic are wired. Although I could probably go to a speech therapist, I could probably go through a lot of things if I actually wanted to, if I felt that this was enough of a problem here, and train myself to fix that somehow. But that's money, time, and energy I just don't have at this point in time. Now, you said you don't want any more long, drawn-out videos. Look, I'm addressing your talking points. I'm trying to do due diligence to you, because you've taken the time to at least try to keep this a civil discussion. Even if I think we're both beyond the point of really feeling like this is a argument that we wish to continue all that much further. Um, because, I don't know. With all due respect, you seem to have admitted, although if I'm putting words in your mouth, just put it in the comment section and I will apologize for that, that there comes a point where maybe your personal biases outweighs your quest for wanting to figure out exactly what it is we are dealing with when it comes to this particular subject. If so, and if you've admitted it, you know what? I'm not going to be upset with you. I'm not going to be mad at you, because unlike most of the people who I've dealt with who are a lot less civil than you, who do sometimes bring up some of the similar talking points, which was why I titled my video FAQ, they're not willing to admit to any of that because they don't want to think that the media bias and a lot of the other things and carryovers from the 80s, which was a dark time for everybody, and we're still feeling the fallout today. Um, you know, having to you have to forgive me. I had to have a quick snooze myself midday here. I've not been sleeping too well, but that's kind of par for the course for me. It's just impacting me a lot right now. Um, but the point is, I'm trying. You throw down a gauntlet that I don't substantiate some of the stuff I say, or at least you had on one video, and you were right. I didn't present the link, but it was again for reasons that I gave. But I did present the link to the article eventually. And it's fine that you look at things the way that you do personally. You don't strike me as somebody who's likely to just go out, go to, say, a sex offender registry and just start looking up addresses and loading up a gun to go take your vengeance on whom you assume to be a pedophile. You do seem to have a healthy broken conflation, at least, between sex offender and pedophile. The problem is you are not society. The problem is you aren't the bulk of the people that we are addressing. And so yeah, getting back to where I was saying, though, I mean, like, I may not share your view, but I can respect it if you're willing to be honest about with me about all of it, because I did a lot of legwork. I did a lot of homework. And while you may not still take away from it the same thing that I was taking away from a lot of these links, at least you considered some of them. You tried. You tried. Even if you didn't read each and every thing, you tried. And I'm not going to begrudge you for doing something that lesser people in camps like yours won't even do. They don't want to read the articles, or if they do, they want to walk into that article with their own biases and just read into it what they want to read into it and not what's actually written. And so there's nothing more that needs to be said. I'm just going to, I think we're both respectfully bowing out of this discussion at this point in time. I've made my points. I have my research series. And I stand by my work at this point. I'm not saying that I can't be proven wrong ultimately, or at least I should say that my sources can't ultimately be proven wrong. But at this point, not a lot of people are willing to do that much homework. I started out exactly where you were, user, and the fact that I've got such a different view of what this whole topic is, how it impacts the lives of the many, not the lives of the few, and how unproductive it is towards the shared goal of reduced child harm, then, well, I don't know what else to say about that. But it's fine. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to begrudge you. I'm not going to be upset or things of this nature. I felt we had a fairly civil debate, and all good things must come to an end. So You take care. If you think of any questions, maybe PMing me might not be a bad idea, and I'm willing to read your question verbatim and answer it. But other than that, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one, and I'm okay with that.